5 hours straight of writing means my brain is goo. Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be trying to write like Ursula K. Guin. Now, Ursula's routine is one that I feel like I saw way back in like the Pinterest days back when I was in college, and it has been recommended by y'all several times, in part because I think it is similar-ish to my own personal routine already, and also because it just seems very chill. But before we get into her routine, I do want to put some respect on Miss Ursula's name. Ursula was a famous speculative fiction writer, renowned for her Earthsea series and the novel The Left Hand of Darkness, but she also wrote poems, essays, and literary criticism. So she really had her hands in like a bunch of different fields, which I love. Her website says that her body of work includes 23 novels, 12 volumes of short stories, 11 volumes of poetry, 13 children's books, 5 essay collections, and 4 works of translation. And she also won multiple Hugo Awards, Nebula Awards, all sorts of awards. She was incredible. And actually her book, Steering the Craft, a 21st Century Guide to Sailing the Sea of Story, is one of my all-time favorite. Oh, you can still see where I dog-eared some pages. Lots of pages. And there's even the Ursula K. Guin Prize for Fiction, which awards authors $25,000, which is just incredible. Really just like continuing her legacy. But let's go ahead and get into her routine, because on the one hand, it sounds perfect to me. Like literally the perfect writing routine. And on the other hand, I'm worried it's deceptive. I'm worried I'm about to get tricked. First off, she wakes up at 5:30. Not a super huge fan of that, but it's okay. She wakes up at 5:30 and just lays there for about 45 minutes. At 6:15, she gets up and eats breakfast, a whole lot of it. And at 7:15 is when she begins writing, and she's not gonna stop writing until noon. So that is almost a whole 5-hour chunk of writing. At noon, she gets lunch. From about 1 to 3, she does reading or some music. 3 to 5 is correspondence, maybe some house cleaning. And for 3 hours, she has listed make dinner and eat it, which, if I could eat for 3 hours, that's really how I would like to spend my time. Less enthralled by the making it part, but. And then after 8, she says, I tend to be very stupid and we don't talk about this time, which as a fellow morning person, I deeply relate to. And as I will undoubtedly share a lot of quotes throughout the course of this vlog, I do want to go ahead and start one off with Ursula's answer when she was asked, how do you make something good? Because I think her answer is very reflective in her routine. She says, inexperienced writers tend to seek the recipes for writing well. You buy the cookbook, you take the list of ingredients, you follow the directions, and behold, a masterpiece, the never-falling souffle. Wouldn't it be nice? But alas, there are no recipes. We have no Julia Child. Successful professional writers are not withholding mysterious secrets from eager beginners. The only way anybody ever learns to write well is by trying to write well. This usually begins by reading good writing by other people and writing very badly for yourself for a long time. And now all that is left to do is test out her writing routine for myself. I'm going to do it for 2 days with which I record, and then maybe a couple days where I do not record, and we shall see how it goes. Yes. All right. Time to go to bed and then wake up at 5:30. Alright, only a couple minutes behind schedule. And that is 1,000 words written so far today after, you know, an hour and 15 minutes. Only 3.5 hours to go. I was thinking about this as I woke up this morning and started working, that I'm glad I'm in a drafting phase. A lot of these writing routines I've done talk about it being a writing routine, but writing oftentimes is, you know, can be editing as much as it is drafting. But for me personally, the idea of drafting for almost 5 hours straight is not that bad. It is a lot, and I will be getting up to move and have like a little eye break sometimes. I'll probably use the puppies as an excuse, but it's not that bad. 5 hours straight of editing. That said though, drafting I can do in like little chunks as well. I can just kind of steal time throughout the day. If it's a crazy busy day, I can go sit in a corner for 15 minutes and draft and see how many words I can get, but I cannot do that for editing. Editing, I feel like I need to get in a zone and stay in that zone until I finish a scene or a chapter or whatever, you know, it calls for that day. So it's just sort of interesting for me. I'm thinking more about my drafting routine versus my editing routine, and they are quite different for me. I would be curious if they're different for you. But it is about time to feed the dogs and let them outside, so this is a perfect eye break, and then I will get back to it. You're ready. You're ready. Buffy, Zelda, sit. Good job, girls. Wait. Oh my gosh. Her little shadow is so cute. Okay. Go ahead, girls. Good job. All right, back at it. Well, I have sat here for like 20 minutes not doing anything of substance. I read a little, which I'm not supposed to do, so this is the sign. Okay, so I have been filling in this chapter. I still have a little bit right here and right here that needs to be filled in, but then I can move completely forward. Because it's a murder mystery and I'm juggling like several characters all in one, and I have not successfully killed any of them off yet. It means I still have like a kind of big cast, so I'm sort of hopping around with some of them throughout this scene, focusing on them a little bit more, and that's why sometimes I just have an idea for one, so I skip to that one and then I have to come back and fill in things. So anyways, it's always a good sign when I start having it completely filled in, and we're very rapidly coming up on the first death. So it's taking longer than I thought it would, but like word count wise, if you look at where most first deaths and mysteries happen, if they're not like the first page, I think I'm about at the right spot. So now I just gotta keep writing for another 2.5 hours. I'm joking about the time, but it's actually been really nice. So let's do this. So I actually managed to get about 2,000 solid words during this time, actually just over 2,000 words, which is awesome. I mean, frankly, anytime that I can get 2,000 words in a day is incredible, but to think that at noon, actually just before noon, because I'd finished a scene and I didn't want to start writing anything else for the 12 minutes remaining, to think that I had like a whole day still ahead of me is really what it felt like. And it's strange and weird, but like in a really great way to think that, okay, I've sort of used up all the resources in my well, if we're gonna stick with the well metaphor, and now it is time to refill the well. Especially since I normally only refill my creative well when I'm like struggle-lugging and I've noticed a decline, when really what I should be doing, right, is refilling the well every single day. And I think Ursula's routine really, you know, encourages that, not just allows it, which is what I was gonna say, but encourages it. First ever!
I don't know what to say. I mean, it's put me out on track on exactly the right moment. I mean, we were first out in the pit lane and, you know.
I am combining my reading music, housework, correspondence time into like a 4-hour chunk instead of separating them out. My lava is fine. It looks a bit like a jellyfish, but that's fine. This is everything I could have hoped for. Like a grown adult. Oh my God, look at it. This is the problem with winter, is the staticky hair. The only issue I had with Ursula's routine last time was that I'm frankly just like not hungry anymore at 7 a.m. So instead I'm having coffee, and if I need food before lunch, I'll get some, but I'm gonna stick with the coffee this time because it made me feel a little bit unwell last time. I do have my pens in my notebook. I'm gonna do some journaling during this little hour of breakfast, but I did want to share a quote that I got from Ursula that I really love. She was talking about the next great American novel, the concept of the great American novel, and the entire article that she's written, the entire essay, is incredible, so I'll link it down below, but I especially loved these last 2 paragraphs, which is, who wants the great American novel anyhow? PR people. People who believe that bestsellers are better than other books because they sell better than other books, and that the prize-winning book is the best book because it won the prize. Tired teachers, timid teachers, lazy students who'd like the one text to read instead of the many, many great and greatly complex books that make up literature. Art is not a horse race. Literature is not the Olympics. The hell with the great American novel. We have all the great novels we need right now, and right now some man or woman is writing a new one. We won't know we need it till we read it. Love. These sorts of concepts I find are ones that I want to, I've wanted for a long time to push back against for my own, sanity. But because it's ingrained at you in a young age that you're reading the classics growing up in school, and that's like the forced reading that you have to do, which I think most of us hated. It's so funny because most of the writers I've talked to just hated being forced to read the classics, even if as adults later we've revisited them and loved them. Or some of them, but this idea that writing has to be any one thing, and that literature and art looks like any one thing in particular, and that we all should be competing for the one prize, the one place, the one next great American novel. It's just free yourself from it. So anyways, it's just nice to have the perfect words with which to do that. Anytime I slide back a little bit and I'm like, but is my art good enough? It's just like, let the art be the art. Anyways, okay, let's get to drinking breakfast. All right, all done. It's writing time. Okay, so the first death has happened and we're moving like directly after that. And so I have very quick snippets along the way from each of the characters as they separate almost for the first time, just now that they've gotten to the island. And I have this one character that's basically like a religious influencer. She actually pivoted from what she used to do to like basically, you know, shout at the masses of white women. And that's just like her niche now. So we're having all these snippets, and so I just got to put in that, you know, she went back to her room, she knelt, and then she prayed and she thanked God for answering her prayers that this other woman is dead. And so anyways, it was just very fun. It was not something that I had like initially anticipated. I had in my outline that I was like, okay, they're gonna separate and I need to do like quick things before they come back together. So anyways, it's quite fun when you can surprise yourself a little bit. So a little bit of intrigue, especially because the backstory is that all of these characters' personal histories are intertwined. So there's, in theory, there should be a reason that each of them might want to kill each other. That's how I need to set it up. So I think this will help. Yes. All right, I have just over an hour left and I've only gotten about 1,000 words, but it's because I've been doing a mix of a little bit of scene editing. I had to do a little bit of editing of this scene because I originally had it an element of it taking place beforehand and I didn't like it. So I changed it and now it's much better, but that means the actual word count is not as high. And the only problem with that is that it is NaNoWriMo still. But otherwise I'm quite proud of what I've gotten so far. I've had some fun little, and I'm about to write the scene where they're having this dinner. They've all gathered after the first person has died. There's going to be one character that's missing, but we explain away why they're missing in a way that I think is like, oh, whatever. Like the characters are like, yeah, that makes sense. They will be the next person to die, so. But for now, I need this dinner sequence to actually go from, oh, we're sad this character died, to sad, not everyone's sad, to very quickly being like, oh, she like did some shady shit to almost all of us, question mark. And I want to play in a lot of the relationships here again so we can see more of that dynamic, but obviously they don't think this death is anything more than what it is. So I need them to go from, oh no, to like enjoying the opulence again, like they had aboard the private jet, and then only to discover that the next person who's died, I'm thinking the next day, like after breakfast, and they're all like, dude, is he still, like, where is he? The plane's still here, so it's not like he took the body back. Only to discover that their pilot is now dead. I think that's the way I need to go about it. Hi, Buff. I just gotta put that plan into action and write the words. Yeah, that's right, Buffy. I just gotta write the words, huh? Yeah. Oh, I'm just getting all the rubs. My lava lamp is finally heating up enough. Go, little lava lamp, be free. All right, well, the final hours was not my best hour, but I'm excited to refill that creative well, do some cleaning. I'm gonna try and do it all in order this time, my 2 hours and then my other 2 hours, but it's food time. You're so good. Our part of Texas in San Antonio has gotten unexpectedly cold in the past few days, and it's like not a normal November. And so me and my partner were like, do we want to turn the heat on already? Like that feels wrong in November for Texas. But anyway, so I needed to clean the fans so that we can move them to a different direction, and then I turned the heater on. I caved. Finn seemed cold. That's my excuse, actually. It was just my hands were freezing. So, okay, cleaning down. Oof. All right, so it is 7 because much like Ursula, I do get stupid around 8. Frankly, I think I get stupid around 7. So we're just gonna see how well this goes, how well this works. Case in point. Okay, before I get into the complete wrap up of how my 2 days of experimenting went, I want to say that one of my favorite things I learned while researching was that Ursula started her blog back in 2010 when she was 81 years old. Okay, so she's already got like such a place in my heart. I loved her writing craft book. It was one of the few that I think has really actionable writing exercises that can help you, and it's one that's like worth revisiting along the way as you sort of fine tune your voice and pacing and just the flow. But she also, you know, she wrote poetry, she wrote sci-fi novels, she wrote literary criticism, she wrote personal essays, and then you know, her blog posts ended up being kind of taken, and some of them were then repurposed into a book later. And I just think it's so cool that at 81 she was still trying new things. You know, it's one of my favorite things about writing. One of the things I always say is that it's one of the few hobbies that you can pick up regardless of age. It's really just something that you'll continue to get better at the more you read and the more you write and the more you play around. And I just love seeing someone who's really made a career out of something just continuing to try new things. That said, I've done so many of these I tried writing like experiments before, and this one was unique in that it was close-ish to what I think I would naturally do, but it's one of those that I think I would need sustained practice to really like implement regularly. I think 5 hours straight of writing is a really big ask. I think it is tough. As someone who's done 12-hour write-a-thons, 24-hour write-a-thons, if you're going to do like, you know, 10K days or more, you're really doing a sustained amount of writing, and it really is like a marathon. The just kind of mental exhaustion after it is almost incredible. Because you think surely I can't be that tired after doing this, but every time I'm amazed I am exhausted. And I love that she then balanced out the rest of her day with like no more creative work, really. She had correspondence in there, which I think you could be like maybe meeting with her agent or her publisher or this person who was running her website, or you know, whatever. There's like little things, maybe doing an interview or something, but no more creative work. She's like, no, I put in my 5 hours. And now it was all about really refilling that well. Listening to music, reading books, cleaning and moving around. A big thing for me over the course of the past year is just reaffirming how much I need my physical health to be up, as you know, kept up as well as I can, in order for my mental health to also be as healthy as it can be. I have been reading more this year. I've actually exceeded my reading goal, and I've read over 30 books, which is what I set. So I'm excited to set a higher reading goal for next year. I'm excited to continue just to see how much farther out I can beat the goal and keep reading. But actually making it a point to read every day is not something that I do. I tend to read in chunks, kind of like how I write in chunks in some respects, but I will read voraciously for like a week chunk, and then I won't read for the next 3 weeks out of the month or something. But reading after I had finished writing each day was so nice, and I think it just keeps you sharp and helps to not just refill the well, but like you're kind of always analyzing the words. I don't know that it's fully possible for writers to shut off that part of our brain. You can definitely still disappear into a story as you're reading it, but I don't know that that ever shuts off, because some part of you is always like, oh my God, this is amazing, or like, oh, I would have rewritten the sentence here a little bit or something. But yeah, just having that every single day is something that maybe could be the best thing for me coming out of this experiment. But please do comment down below. Let me know if you've read anything from Ursula. Let me know if you too are thinking about starting a blog, or if you're challenging yourself to like a personal essay experiment, or like a poem a day for however long, or if you're thinking about combining, you know, some visual projects with your writing. I would be really curious, especially because I would love to cheer you on in that endeavor. But that is going to be it for me. My brain is still a little bit goo. Oh, thanks, Bob. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye!